conclusion inevitable.
It was a jump to conclusions, Matt.
My conclusion was that this idea was not a practical deterrent.
My only conclusion can be that it was a Sith Lord.
In conclusion.
Hello there, folks! Welcome back to In Conclusion, the only movie podcast that sits on a throne of lies. I'm Dan O'Keefe, and joining me as always is Anna Otto. Anna, did you break anything today?
Yes, Dan. Besides all the hearts I usually break, I broke my toe. It's my ring toe, too. I don't think I mentioned that before. It's the toe next to my pinky, and it hurts like a beach. And walking around, my boss said so I had to go to a different office to go do some teaching today. And my boss said she saw me hobbling out the window to my car, and she felt so sad for me.
Oh.
I was like, no, please don't look. Nobody look.
I do have two questions for you.
Oh.
One, is it always called I've never heard it called the ring toe before.
Well, I'll put it for you this way, Dan, because it's been brought to my attention that nobody else calls it that.
Mm-hmm.
I refer to all my toes the same way with my fingers. So my big toe correlates to my thumb.
Okay.
Pointer toe, middle toe, ring toe, pinky toe.
Try pointing at something with your quote-unquote pointer toe.
Well, it just correlates to my pointer finger.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Some people have long pointer toes. I don't, but...
Second question I have for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
How did you break your toe, Anna?
Oh, God, Dan. I'll give you the full story.
Thank you.
I was getting ready for work, as one does on a Tuesday morning. And I was like, I got to go brush my hair. And Gage was still home at this point. And so I was talking to him. I was walking into the bathroom while, hairbrush in hand. Hit my toe on the wall, tripped, and promptly fell into my bathtub.
You're kidding.
I wish I was, Dan.
You should be kidding. And the fact that you're not is silly.
I'm embarrassed, and I should be embarrassed. And for all my theater fans out there, I did not go to the doctor. I taped it up myself with spike tape. So. Because
you're a working girl.
I didn't want to spend $500 to have some freaking tape on my toe, Dan.
No, that's fair. I totally understand. I'm a pansy and I defer to authority, so I basically would always go to the doctor, but you're smarter than me, so.
No, that's what multiple people who I've told this story to were like shocked that I didn't go to the doctor. The people who weren't shocked were the people who've also broken their toes before.
Okay, yeah, I've never broken my toe. I've broken my ankle, and that felt like I kind of needed to go talk to somebody about that, but...
Yeah, that's definitely more serious.
Yeah.
Yeah, breaking your toe is like, well, your toe's going to be bent a little weird, but that's life.
That's life.
So, that's life, I guess.
Oh, my Lord.
Guess you're ugly forever. Where were we?
The movie that we're talking about today, if you couldn't read the title of this episode, it's Elf. And
Amen.
Well, no, it's Elf, not Amen. You're almost there. You got one of the letters.
I like Elf.
Also, before we get going, I'm recording in a hotel, and if my audio sounds any weird, blame Apple and the headphones that I
blame Apple for most things.
I blame Apple for plenty of things, like my rent. Anyway, Elf, released in 2003, directed by Jon Favreau, who you may know as that actor from Rudy.
What? How dare you speak of Father Favreau that way?
Written by David Barenbaum. You know what else?
Not familiar with her. What?
He's written 5 movies.
Elf. A hint. Okay.
No, The Haunted Mansion.
With Eddie Murphy?
Yes.
I was so scared of that movie when I was little.
Zoom, Academy for Superheroes, with Tim Allen.
Yeah.
The Spiderwick Chronicles.
Oh, I remember those. I never saw those, but I remember them.
And Strange Magic.
That sounds familiar. Strange Magic. No.
I think that's what they got the name from. It's an animated movie that came out in 2015 based on A Midsummer's Night's Dream.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Starring Will Ferrell, James Caan, Zooey Deschanel, Mary Steenburgen, Ed Asner, Bob Newhart, and others.
Okay, side note before we even start. My whole family really likes Elf. My mom is not a Will Ferrell fan, but she likes Elf.
Okay.
And my grandma does not even, well, before she passed away, did not even know who Will Ferrell was, but she loved Elf.
Okay.
And when Anchorman 2 came out, my grandma called me on the phone. And there were like these ads with Ron Burgundy, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember those?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And my grandma called me and she goes, Anna, is that man in the ugly maroon jacket? Is that the same who is the elf? And I was
the
like,
same who is the elf.
yes. And I was like, yes, Grandma, that is the same who is the elf. So that's a little fun grandma mem.
Did she go
that
see
I can
it?
share with you. No, she did not see it. She did not think he was funny. She only thinks the elf is funny. Well, did. So
released on November 7th, 2003, with a budget of $33 million, it made $225 million at the box office.
yeah,
And it has an 85% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
that feels low. That feels low.
A movie full
Who are
of
the
Yuletide
Grinches?
cheer, Elf is a spirited, good-natured family comedy, and it benefits greatly from Will Ferrell's funny and charming performance as one of Santa's biggest helpers.
Who are the Grinches who didn't like Elf?
That doesn't... What?
Come forward.
Roger
You said it
Ebert.
only is
3 out of 4 stars.
curmudgeon.
What? That's a positive
That's
review.
low. No, I need to be 4 out of 4.
Well, too bad.
Dang.
He's dead, so he can't change it.
Well, get me a Ouija board, I guess.
Do you know the first time that you saw this?
No, because I've seen it so many times. However, I do remember being obsessed with the soundtrack.
This soundtrack was the soundtrack to Christmas in my house. Because my parents, my mom has it on CD, and we have the CD player in our kitchen, and around Christmas time, it would either be that or it would be Now That's What I Call Christmas. But
Nice.
the Elf soundtrack was played more often, which is why I thought that Pennies from Heaven was a Christmas song.
I love that song. It should be a Christmas song at this point.
Right?
Because I honestly, as someone who does like that kind of music, I would say I heavily associate it with Elf even now.
Yeah.
Because, well, when I went to Target, this is a core memory for me. You remember when they used to have those CD things where they had music that you could just walk up and like press a button and it would play music?
Absolutely.
I remember when Target had the Elf one, and I used to always press it because it would play Pennies from Heaven.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. I'm not cute anymore.
No, you're old and sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know the first time that I saw this, but I have seen this 800 times at this point. It came out when I was 5, so like.
Oh Lord.
Yeah.
I was 8.
Like the one kid in the Santa, when he's sitting on Santa's lap, I see myself in him. He's my age. We're the same age.
Okay.
The babies at the beginning of the movie, they're in college.
I hated that, Dan.
That's a fact.
I hated that. Thanks. I hate it.
Yeah, let's just get into it. Let's go.
do it. A holiday classic.
So, it's Christmas Eve. A story is being told to us by an old elf.
Papa Elf.
Played by Bob Newhart.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Papa Elf
Who'd
is
have
Bob
known?
Newhart, 93 years young currently.
Oh, I thought you meant in the movie. I was like, no way he was 93. Okay, King.
And we're told that on Christmas Eve, a baby orphan is lured into Santa's sack by a teddy bear.
LOL.
And is taken back to the North Pole from the orphanage.
Classic.
I mean, that happened to all of us at least once, right?
I was afraid of strangers, but that's just me.
I crawled into so many stranger sacks because of a teddy bear. It is
Dan?
not even funny.
I did hug a few strangers in my day thinking that they were my dad.
Okay, I think that's fine. You just ran up
It
to
was-
a bald man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. It was pretty, like, I mean, thankfully, 99% of the time, the guys were like, oh, that's okay. I have a kid too, la la la. And it wasn't like a creep.
Yeah.
But that's a core memory for me.
I
Very scary.
was always very friendly with strangers if I saw them with food, because I would walk up to them and just go, I really like goldfish, or like whatever they were eating. I really like Rice Krispies, in hopes that they would give me some.
You are a peculiar being, Dan.
I am who
Peculiar.
I am. I am like a cat, constantly searching
Yeah.
for food.
Or my dog.
Yes.
When we're in the kitchen and she hears one plastic bag crinkle open.
So at the North Pole in the workshop, his name is the child is named Buddy, because that's his diaper brand. And
Cute.
he grows up into a human, not an elf, so he's twice the size and older than everybody else who he was growing up with. And he's kind of a ne'er-do-elf.
Not on purpose. I'm not giving you any credit.
Give
for
me
that.
credit. That was clever.
So clever.
Thank you.
How about that? You're
Thank
welcome.
you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, it's not his fault.
It's not his fault. He's just not. It's not in his DNA. You know.
No. Like they're supposed to make
Can't-
1,000 Etch-a-Sketches in a day, and he made 85.
God, I don't think I would ever be able to do that. Are you kidding me?
This-
Somebody would. Oh God, I would suffer.
So his failure at etching, sketching does call into question some of the things that he can do later in the movie.
Yeah, true. But I think it's not the fact that he can't make that he can't draw on an Etch-a-Sketch. It's that he can't make them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I meant why does he have the super snowball powers and like decorating prowess if he couldn't keep up with everybody else?
He learned.
Maybe.
He couldn't keep up, but he still has a few skills. You know, he probably picked some stuff up along the way that just didn't translate in the workplace. I get that.
It seems like there's more to unpack there.
No, nothing to unpack today.
Oh, that's good.
Not this time.
That's a first.
Mm-hmm.
So he overhears elves talking and saying that he's a human, which he is shocked by.
The scene
Somehow.
with the little shower cracks me up every single time. I always die over that. Let it be known.
And basically, he goes to Papa Elf, and Papa Elf tells him that, yes, he's human. His dad is Walter Hobbs and Susan Wells, but Susan Wells is dead. And she was put up she put him up for adoption before she died. Walter's the only one left. He's a book publisher in the Empire State Building and is unaware of Buddy's existence.
Ugh.
You say that you sound wistful.
Tragic beginnings,
Ah.
you know? Just so sad.
I get it. I mean,
I don't know.
like, there are worse things that could have happened.
I mean, it's a little sad. You find out your birth mom is dead.
I don't know how I would feel. I mean, I am not an orphan, but I don't know how I would
Yeah.
feel about that if I had no idea that I was adopted.
I don't know either. Well, I don't
Insightful
know.
opinions from us.
yeah. I don't know. That's it.
So, Santa, played by the recently departed Ed Asner, tells Buddy that Walter is on the naughty list, which is the worst news of all.
I mean, can you imagine?
It's because he's selfish.
Yeah.
But if he gives him some Christmas spirit, Buddy can help redeem him.
Here we go.
And that's
We're
the
diving
plot.
in.
So, Buddy does what everyone does. He says goodbye to his claymation friends and travels down through the candy cane forest to New York City.
Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal.
Classic. Oh! One of my coworkers changed his signature for Christmas, and it's now a picture of him dressed as Buddy the Elf. I just wanted to share that because it's literally so cute.
That's very fun. In his emails, that's really fun.
Yeah. In all his professional emails, it's a picture of him dressed as Elf.
I love it.
Or dressed as Buddy. Yeah, I love it too.
So Buddy does a tour of New York City. He tries the world's best cup of coffee.
You did it.
He takes flyers, a lot of flyers, from two guys over and over again. He chews gum, pre-chewed gum. Big fan.
Somebody I know said recently that scene gives them anxiety. I was like, oh, I get that, though. I mean, in today's post-COVID world, I get it.
Yeah, now. But back then, just some fun. Some fun.
Yeah.
And eventually he goes to the Empire State Building, goes up to see his dad, but his dad thinks that he's a Christmas scram.
Ugh, heartbreaking. I'm here, and I'm singing. I'm so sorry, Dan. I'm about to be so annoying.
Do it. Do the whole thing.
That's all I remember. I'm here, and I'm singing.
To my dad. So after he gets thrown out of the building, he goes to Gimbals, a very CGI'd Gimbals.
Mm-hmm.
And he is mistaken for a employee elf.
I mean, he doesn't have to worry about... Well, how did he get on payroll?
I don't think he is on payroll. I think he just keeps showing up. He doesn't know anything about that.
Be me. I guess you're right. That's just something I've always wondered, which literally so goofy of me, I guess, to wonder about that. But
yeah.
I was like, is he on payroll?
I assume he has a social security number.
He probably just didn't know it exists. Santa probably was like, oh, by the way, your social security number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like,
social security? What about elf security? Is probably a line.
The elves start asking questions.
Also, at Gimbals, he runs into an unenthusiastic employee named, for some reason, Jovi. What is that short for?
I don't know, because the only other time I've ever heard that name was on 90 Day Fiancé, and it was a man. So I cannot give you an answer. I think maybe they were like, what's a quirky, like, what name is really serving Manic Pixie? You know what I mean?
But she's not a Manic Pixie dream girl in this.
I know, but
it's like the one Zooey Deschanel movie that she isn't.
True. I don't know. I don't know why they named her Jovi. I really don't.
I think it's short for jovial, which is a description of Santa.
I think it's short for Jovius.
I think it's short for Joe Vibin.
Yup.
Yup. And he instantly basically falls in love with her. He thinks she's the bee's knees.
I also instantly fell in love with Zooey Deschanel the first time I saw her, so I get it.
It took me 2 times.
I don't like her as a blonde. I'm gonna say it.
I do.
Ew.
Okay. Well.
Weird.
Okay, I get it. You don't have taste. Unlike me, I'm full of taste.
You're full of something.
That's right, taste. So, the store manager says that Santa is coming the next day, and Buddy, extraordinarily excited, redecorates the entire store.
Santa! That's why, in case you didn't know, everyone, that's why everybody always says, I know him, and stuff like that. Does it get on your nerves when people do that? Because it kind of gets on mine when people are like, Santa, I know him. I'm like, yeah, we've all seen Elf.
Yeah, come up with an original thing.
Maybe I'm just a curmudgeon. I'm sorry, everyone.
Mere minutes ago, you said, 85% too low. And now...
It is too low. I don't have tolerance for other people, not for the script itself.
Have you ever read Jean-Paul Sartre's No Exit?
Hell is other people, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to our Elf and theatrical canon classic script podcast.
Hope you brought your highlighters for taking notes.
Next up, absurdism. Anna's least favorite thing.
Literally.
So the next day, Santa Claus is there. And it's not the real Santa. It's a man in a mask, in a wig,
Sit on a
a
throne
fake
of lies.
beard. He smells
Which
like
my
ham.
mom says all the time, for the record.
Smells like ham and cheese.
Ew.
So do I.
Ew, Dan, go shower.
Okay. Buddy and him get into a fight, and Buddy gets thrown out of the store and taken to the police station, where he calls his dad, and his dad bails him out.
Which, like, if it was you, would you have bailed him out? Be honest.
Probably.
Weird. Okay.
If
well,
somebody
you are a
called-
man, that's for sure.
Well, I was going to say, if somebody called me to the police station to bail them out, I would probably do it. If I knew that.
I think I would do exactly what he does, and if this person was suddenly being like, Dad, I would be like, okay, let's go get your DNA test because I can't do this.
Yeah. So they do go get a DNA test, and it's the quickest DNA test in the world, because those take more than 5 minutes.
Yeah, from Dr. Favreau.
Yeah, maybe when Dr. Chef John Favreau is doing it, they go real quick. But
Dr. Happy.
It confirms that it's his son. They're related. Daddy, son, or dance.
Yep. Yep.
That's that. I've been to many of those, and
Ew.
he convinces Walter to take Buddy home to meet the family, Emily, Mary Steenburgen, and his half brother Michael, who reacts. This is maybe the most realistic depiction of a 12-year-old on screen.
He's such a brat at the beginning,
Yeah.
but like honestly, fair.
If some weird ass guy came to your house and started saying that he was your brother, how would you
I'd be
react
like-
when you were 12?
Oh, even now I'd be like, hard pass. They're like, I have no siblings. I'm an only child, which is true.
So they have dinner, and that's where Buddy puts maple syrup on the spaghetti.
Classic.
What a
How
time.
many people this year have you seen posting that they fed their children that?
I don't go on Instagram, so 0.
But I meant Facebook. Sorry.
Oh, I
was lying.
unfriended everybody annoying on Facebook, so still 0.
False, because you and I are still
Yeah, I was
friends
gonna
on
say not
Facebook.
everyone, almost everyone.
By force, I'm still your friend.
I'm gonna poke you.
Ew.
No, I haven't seen anybody posting that on Twitter, but I also don't follow any like mommy blogs.
Okay, well, I don't follow mommy blogs either, but I am friends with quite a few moms. And so I've seen quite a few. Oh, we had Buddy the Elf's spaghetti for dinner, and I'm like, "Ugh." Couldn't be me. It looks foul.
Most dads don't let me around moms because that's too dangerous for them. Because
Yeah,
I'm gonna
wife
steal
stealer?
them. Yes.
Yup.
Absolutely. There's a
That's why
song.
you had to be outsourced.
There's a song about me.
Are you Young Gravy?
No, I'm Mr. Steal Your Girl. A heavy sigh falls over America.
I really thought we were past Mr. Steal Your Girl. You know what I mean?
Young Gravy is just the next evolution of that.
Do you think Young Gravy's hot? Be honest.
No. I think he's charismatic. I don't think he's hot.
I think he's hot. I fell prey.
What if he was blonde?
He's kind of blonde. He's got like the same color hair as me when I have my natural hair.
Yeah. Maybe you just see yourself in him.
I like that. He is from... No, he went to school in Wisconsin. He's from Minneapolis.
Why do you know this?
I went on a Young Gravy deep dive
You
one day.
you went on a gravy train?
I went on a gravy train one day.
Okay. So Emily convinces Walter to let Buddy stay with them. They'll take care of him until he recovers from whatever his delusion is. His delusion is being a weirdo.
Have they considered therapy?
This is
I mean, I
also
guess-
day 1.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess it wouldn't be a cute, heartwarming movie if they considered therapy, right? It would be like sad.
Kramer versus Elf.
Stop. Not Kramer versus Elf.
And so one day, Michael is walking home from school, and Buddy sees him, and they start walking home together, and Michael's not enjoying it. But then, for some reason, they get ambushed by a gang of bullies in Central Park who are pelting them with snowballs.
Classic.
Watch out. These guys are bad news.
Have you ever seen the video before this scene where it's Michael walking and Buddy's trying to catch up to him, and there's like a guy who walks out of his apartment and then realizes that they're filming a movie and immediately turns back around and goes inside?
I haven't.
Oh my god. Next time I see it, I'll definitely send it to you. It's very funny.
Yeah. I gotta be honest, this was one of the in-flight movies on American Airlines, so I watched it on the plane.
Nice.
But my flight landed too quickly, so I had 6 minutes left that I needed to watch.
Oh my god.
So Buddy earns Michael's respect after he destroys the children in a snowball fight with his Gatling gun Rookie of the Year-like arm.
Yeah, my god. I wonder if his arms were just ripped.
I guess. Maybe he has only rotator cuffs.
Oh, he's built different.
Yeah, he's got those, like... I'm trying to describe I'm trying to think how to describe what they are, but like you have like the ball and you stick it in the hole and it has like a free range of motion sort of thing. That's his arms. There's no tendons, no nothing like that.
Yeah, like your hip, except there are tendons, but like that.
Yeah.
Ball and
chain.
Socket.
Yes.
No.
Ball and socket. That's the word.
Wow, I love science.
We're both scientists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a doctor.
Yep.
Michael also gets introduced by Buddy to Jovi and sees how smitten they are. Also, earlier, Buddy was listening to her sing in the bathroom, in the shower.
Yeah, how did we forget about that?
Skipped over that part.
Oh, okay. That part, while majorly cringe, made me want to sing Baby It's Cold Outside like all the time.
Majorly cringe, but also still kind of cute because of how
it's just
how innocent Buddy is.
Exactly. If he was a normal person, I'd be like, this is giving me the ick.
Yeah.
But because he's innocent and doesn't realize that what he's doing is majorly creepy, it's nice.
Yeah. But like if I was doing it,
I would say, Dan, maybe don't surprise women in the shower without their consent.
But that's when the husbands aren't around.
Dan, no. Women don't like that, Dan.
And they go on a date, and on that date, Buddy shows her the sights of all the random Christmas stuff in New York, and it's cute, and they kiss on the Rockefeller skating rink.
I feel like in real life, like, do you think people went on dates like that as a result of this? They were like, let's go on a tour of all the random Christmas stuff you can do in New York?
Maybe. I think like a lot of the stuff that they did is in walking distance of each other.
Yeah, like that number went up.
Probably.
It sounds nice.
It does. I like it. I'm happy for them.
Me too.
So, Walters Publishing Company, they published a book. It flopped. There were 2 missing pages in it.
What is the character? It's called, it's like something about a little dog, and they're like, my daughter wants to know what happened to the dog.
Yeah.
Story. Yeah.
They didn't mention this earlier when it was first introduced, but it's missing the last 2 pages of the story, not middle 2.
No.
It's kind of important.
I love it. I love the whole story.
So he has to have a new book ready by Christmas Eve. So he's working, and he after meeting with his 2 in-house writers, who are played by Andy Richter and Kyle Gass.
I only recognized Andy Richter. I don't know the other person.
Kyle Gass is the other half of Tenacious D.
There it is.
Yeah, they schedule a meeting with the best-selling children's author Miles Finch.
This was my first experience with Peter Dinklage.
I think it's most people's.
Yeah.
Because before, like, he was a working actor and everything before Game of Thrones, but...
Mm-hmm. Well, obviously, yeah, but...
Like, I'm looking at his filmography. The Station Agent, which was an independent movie. He was in Lassie in 2005.
Oh, woof. Literally.
The 2007 Underdog movie.
The one with the Kyle Massey song,
Yeah.
Underdog. That song was rent-free in my mind.
Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian.
Oh, I didn't see that one. I was not interested.
And both the British and American versions of Death at a Funeral.
Never saw her.
But like, Elf was
But those are
definitely
movies
the
I've
biggest
all
thing.
heard of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're introduced to him. He is a little person.
Mm-hmm. He's Peter Dinklage.
And he's also an ass.
He's funny.
He is a funny ass. Like me. And
he's meaner.
And Buddy innocently comes in and thinks, "Oh, another elf."
Oh no. Cringe.
And he calls him an angry elf, and then Finch attacks him, kicks him. He does like a diving drop kick on him to start the fight. And angrily leaves the meeting. And Walter's like, "You bitch, how dare you? Ah, I hate you, Buddy." Those are the exact words.
Yep, that's line for line verbatim, honestly.
Yeah. Everybody remembers that seminal line in Elf. You bitch.
Yep.
I disown you.
In a children's movie.
Hey. You get one F-bomb before you're rated R.
You're right.
Fuck
I'm pretty
you,
sure this movie's
you
PG,
elf.
isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
So after he gets disowned, Buddy writes an Etch-a-Sketch apology and just starts wandering through New York City. An elf without a shelf.
Oh. Sad. I'm crying. The whole squad is crying.
What are you to do? What are you to do? You get disowned. Where are you going to go?
Back to the North Pole.
So, the publishing company gang find Finch's notebook, and they start to scramble to create a book to pitch.
Isn't it like about carrots or something like that?
Peaches?
I can't remember. It's about some fruit or vegetable.
Well, so like the first idea, in originally when they were pitching it, they pitched it to Peter Dinklage, and they're like, "It's a tomato," and they're like, "No tomatoes, they're too soft." And then the first idea in the book is a peach. What's softer than a peach?
Yes. Okay, it's coming back now. It's coming back.
As he's about to pitch the book, Michael shows up in the office and tells, first off, how did Michael get to the office?
I think he probably has a bus pass, or he stole his mom's bus pass or something.
It is Manhattan.
They have New York trains? Yeah.
Do they have trains in New York?
I'm forgetting. They have the subway.
Yes.
He took the subway. I was thinking of Chicago. That's why I said buses at first.
Chicago also has trains.
That's what I meant. What if I take it? I've been to Chicago. Oh my God. It's been a long day, Dan.
And this is where Walter has a change of character moment, realizes his mistake, basically tells his boss to up yours.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine being a highfalutin publisher. That's probably a lot of stress.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
Yeah, you're a highfalutin publisher?
Yeah.
For children's books about not tomatoes, they're too soft?
Yeah, you almost said the exact name of the first book that I published.
Not tomatoes, they're too soft?
Well, it was called Tomatoes Are Too Soft, Don't Be a Pussy.
Oh!
A book for kids.
A children's book with pictures?
Absolutely.
I love that.
So, as Buddy is walking through Central Park, he sees Santa's sleigh crash.
Oh,
because
tragic.
not enough people, to quote Josh Groban, believe.
Are you talking about that? Nope. I'm thinking of Prince of Egypt. Never mind.
No, I'm thinking of the Josh Groban song, Believe.
I was thinking of There Can Be Miracles When You Believe, which is, I believe, from Prince of Egypt.
We're all allowed to have thoughts.
You don't like Prince of Egypt?
I've never seen it.
What the F?
Why is that surprising?
Because it's a great movie, Dan.
I had never heard of it until like 4 years ago.
Oh my God, I'm literally sick to my stomach right now.
I'm sorry that my lack of seeing one movie makes you ill.
As soon as this movie's done,
I'm not watching
going to
it.
throw up.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I might, if we talk about it, I'll watch it, but like, I'm never just gonna watch it on my own.
You should. It's so good.
It's too recent. When I was
Dan, it's from like 2001.
Yeah, when I was flying back from L.A. to Chicago, I was watching a movie from 1946. A very timely film.
Why are you like this?
I'm the worst. It was also 3 hours long.
Oh my god, Dan.
It's
the way
twice
I would
an
have
elf.
fallen asleep so fast.
I did only watch half of it because I was falling asleep.
There it is.
But the first half was really good. A man has hooks for hands. That's not a joke. Like, the actor actually lost his hands in World War II.
Oh, now I feel bad. I thought you were saying that because that was the plot.
No, well, it's part of the plot. It's kind of a big plot because it's called The Best Years of Our Lives. Just look it up.
Okay, I'll give it a goog.
So anyway, back to Elf. In Central Park, a crowd gathers around and explains that the sleigh's engine is lost and can't fly because there's a shortage of Christmas spirit.
Boo!
Not here,
How
though.
lame.
Not with us. Not for me. I'm
I
holly
have
and
spirit.
jolly.
I got my Christmas tree up. I got my stockings up.
Absolutely.
I'm ready for Christmas.
I'm wearing a Christmas shirt right now.
I'm not. No, you're not. You're wearing a Marquette
I'm
shirt.
wearing a sweatshirt over it.
Oh, you wear shirts under your sweatshirts?
Yeah.
Gross.
Okay.
Couldn't be me.
Oh, what if we get too warm?
I suffer.
You wouldn't. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You're always cold.
Exactly.
So Buddy finds the engine, reunites with his family, and they all get accepted. Also, at this point, there's this like recurring joke about how everybody's super attracted to the news reporter in Central Park. And I don't get it.
Isn't this the news reporter who's like, prove you're Santa, and she wants her boyfriend to like stop dragging his feet or whatever?
And actually propose to her, yeah.
Yeah.
Why is everybody, but like every interview, they're like, you're really attractive, by the way. Anyway, I don't get it.
Because 2003 was a different time.
Seems like it's just a joke that doesn't land.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Michael proves that Santa is Santa by reading the list. He didn't check it twice, but he's reading the list.
She wants her boyfriend to propose. Stop dragging his feet.
Right? And there are 4 Central Park Rangers who are angry at Santa for placing them on the naughty list.
If you belong on the naughty list, it's where you go. Sorry.
Them's the rules.
Mm-hmm.
He put them on the naughty list due to their controversial handling of the Simon and Garfunkel concert in 1983, according to the movie.
Okay.
They get chased around as Buddy reattaches the engine, but then Jovi, who earlier in the movie said she hates singing and now is singing out in public, leads the crowd in Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which raises the Christmas spirit enough to power the engines fully.
It was giving, I hate singing, and then one person says, you should sing, and they go, okay, yeah,
Okay.
you're right. Twist my arm.
Don't make
They
me
couldn't.
sing.
Santa Claus is coming.
Is that
Or
it?
like, should I sing? Should I sing right now? Wouldn't it be kind of funny if I sang?
What,
God, guys.
What is this? IHOP after closing night of the show?
Oh, everybody still has their cat's makeup on. Oh. Oh my God. Have you ever seen that one SNL skit where I think it's Crucible Cast Party?
Yes, I have.
Where they're like still wearing age makeup.
At the Crucible Cast Party. We sent out Christmas cards this year, and
I know I got one. Thank you. I love it.
good. I'm glad.
It's on my fridge.
So it says it's a picture of me and Anna, not you, Anna.
Yes.
My fiance Anna. For those listening at home, the fact that Gage is not named Dan is honestly disappointing because it doesn't add more confusion.
I can tell him to change his name.
Do it.
I'll do it. Okay, I'll suggest it.
Give him an ultimatum. Change his name or come on the podcast. He's more likely to change his name then.
You're right.
But anyway, we sent out the Christmas card. It has a picture of us. It says Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas or whatever from Dan, Anna, and Poppy, our cat. And then underneath it, it says, we see you when you're sleeping.
Yes, I laugh.
as a fun little joke. It seems like there's an age cutoff for the people who laugh, the people who are like, okay.
What do you mean? Who
'Cause
said that they didn't think it was funny?
My mom, she was like, yeah, that was
Parents never
weird.
think that stuff's funny. Parents are parents. My mom would do the same thing. I thought it was funny,
Well,
but
thank
I think
you.
that's also because you guys are goofy and like I know that.
Yes, very big old Max goof.
You are giving Max goof energy.
You know, I've never seen a goofy movie.
You're kidding.
I've seen an extremely goofy movie.
That's equally as good. You need to watch a goofy movie.
I do. But before we do that, the end of Elf.
Let's finish it. Bring it home strong, Dan.
Next Christmas, Buddy writes a book about his life. It's a bestseller. Walter's got his own publishing company. Buddy marries Jovi, and they bring their newborn daughter Susie to visit Papa Elf.
They moved really fast.
They did. That was a whole year in like 6 seconds.
God. A whole year to get married and have a kid? They either eloped or
Well, we don't
can
know.
you say outside of wedlock? I can.
Bastard
Scandal.
from a basket.
Scandal.
We don't know a lot about Jovi. Not a lot is explained about her character.
Yeah. She's kind of just there to be a romantic interest. And you know what? For 2003, that reads.
Yeah, it does. It's also from a script that was written in 1993.
What? How did I not know that?
It was 10 years from when they first wrote the script to when it was produced. I just found that out while
then
I
it
was looking
really
it up.
makes sense.
Anyway, that's Elf. Tell me your thoughts.
I love it. It's classic. I know it's like not one of the oldest movies out there, but it's definitely a classic to me.
Yeah, I think honestly, within 10 years, it was pretty obvious that it had reached the same status as like A Christmas Story had.
Oh yeah.
So it's pretty safe to call it a classic.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, think about it. Even now, you go to like Target or wherever, and you're going to be able to buy Elf stuff, even though the movie's however many years old.
Yeah.
Like, it's got that staying power.
Yes.
That's it.
It absolutely does.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's cute. I think maybe the script could have used a tune-up at some point.
Yeah, I agree with you. But I mean, just like all classics, there are parts that go, ooh.
But like overall, it's fun. I think it is like a Christmas cookie. You enjoy it in the moment, but you're not really like yearning for them 11 months out of the year.
No, it might be your favorite movie at Christmas time, but
it's not going to transfer over.
Movie.
Like,
yeah.
I think It's a Wonderful, like a movie like It's a Wonderful Life, I would not be aghast if somebody said it's their favorite movie, because there are things outside of it simply being like, this is explicitly only a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I agree, because It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a Christmas. Like it's also one of those movies that takes place at Christmas.
It takes place at Christmas, and like 60% of it is just going over this one guy's life.
Yeah.
Just a big plot point is that it's around Christmas. Like I would understand that, but if somebody said Elf is my favorite movie, I'll watch it in June, I would slowly walk away from them.
I would say, are you good?
Right?
Are you obsessed with Christmas so much that you can't enjoy other holidays?
Like, I love Christmas, but
Mm-hmm.
that seems like a lot.
You got to leave some room at the table for other holidays. That's all I have to say, you know?
Yeah. I think there needs to be a better holiday to celebrate outside of the Burr months.
We have Easter.
Yeah, Easter's... part of my issue is the media surrounding holidays outside of Thanksgiving, Halloween, and Christmas. Not up to par, not up to snuff.
No, you're right. You're right. It's lacking for sure. It's lacking.
Like what Memorial Day movies are there? Huh? Songs? Ballad of the Green Berets? Come on, I'm not singing that.
Do we just sing like fight songs of all the different branches? Because the only one I know is the Air Force one.
Oh, I only know the Marines one because they would sing it on Gomer Pyle.
Goodbye. I don't know why I know the Air Force one. It's the Off We Go is the wild blue yonder. That one.
I think the Navy one is in the Navy. You
That
can
is
sail the
not
seven
the-
seas.
I wish. Can you imagine?
That would be fun.
It would be fun.
So I just want to go over the soundtrack for this because it's so good.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It
really is.
It's the second best-selling Christmas soundtrack of all time.
What's the first? White
Somehow the
Christmas?
Polar Express.
Dan. I literally told Gage the other day that I was walking downstairs at my office to go like prep before a meeting, and I heard one of our supervisors was blaring Hot Chocolate from that soundtrack.
No.
And it activated my fight or flight.
That's absurd.
When I was little, I used to choreograph dances to the Polar Express soundtrack. So like I can't point fingers because I owned it.
That is, at some point something switched where people went from mocking the Polar Express to calling it a classic.
I will never call it a classic. I was definitely creeped out by some parts of it when I was little.
Yeah.
But hearing Hot Chocolate blaring through the basement of my workspace was unnerving.
Do you know what song is from the soundtrack of the Polar Express originally? It's Believe by Josh Groban.
I was going to say, is it Believe by Josh Groban?
It is. And the Kate Smith version of Silver Bells. Everyone's favorite one.
And Hot Chocolate.
Okay.
Sung by Tom Hanks.
I have trivia for you.
I'm ready for your trivia.
In the animated sequel to this, that is a musical that airs on NBC, Jim Parsons plays Buddy the Elf.
Stop. You lost me at animated sequel. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, or spin-off Elf Buddy's Musical Christmas.
Oh. Is it the same as the musical?
It's a special based off of the musical.
That's too much.
So.
Okay, interesting.
James Caan at the end, he's playing piano. He's actually playing piano.
Oh, okay. Didn't James Caan pass away this year?
He did pass away this year.
Oh, very sad.
Will Ferrell and Jon Favreau disagreed on what they wanted the tone of the movie to be. Will Ferrell wanted it to be a more cynical PG-13 comedy, while Jon Favreau wanted it to be more lighthearted and family-friendly.
I'm glad that the family-friendly won out, because in the end, I think that if it had been a more cynical PG-13 movie, it wouldn't be the classic that it is.
Yes.
It wouldn't have been such a commercial success.
Yes, but also that's probably, because of their disagreements when they were making it, that's probably why there's never been a sequel.
We don't need a sequel sometimes,
No.
You know what I mean?
It's
sometimes
a sequel would diminish this.
Yeah.
So Jon Favreau was dead set on using as many in-camera effects as possible. So he thought that too much CGI would clash with the like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer inspired North Pole look that he was going for.
Okay. I like that they used the stop motion. Like I think that played out nicely, because that is what so many people associate with like Christmas, quote unquote. You know what I mean?
So they used forced perspective for the shots of Buddy being normal sized in the elf sized world, and they were so long to set up that they had to have a second unit team come in and set up the shots at night for the next day so they could stay on schedule.
I love that.
And the North Pole set was so deep and wide, it was built inside a hockey rink.
Oh.
Because no soundstage was big enough for it.
Interesting.
Will Ferrell ate the spaghetti and candy food.
The way I would literally throw up on set.
the scenes of Buddy first showing up in New York City and doing funny things, totally improvised.
I think I knew that the coffee thing was improvised.
Improvised, and the flyers going back and forth.
I think I knew that for some reason.
It was just him, Jon Favreau, and the cameraman.
I love that.
James Caan and Ed Asner are both Jewish, or were both Jewish, playing Papa Elf and Santa Claus. Or Santa Claus and Walter.
Get that check.
Right? Good for them. The infant Buddy was supposed to be played by twin boys, but was replaced by brunette triplet girls because the twins were crying nonstop.
As it should be. Let the women do the work, one of my podcasts that I like says.
This was Will Ferrell's first movie post-SNL.
Oh, really?
He had been in movies when he was on SNL, but this was his first starring role after he had left Saturday Night Live.
Wow, I guess I never put two and two together on that timeline.
So here are some things that could have been. Chris Farley was originally, when they were first writing it, we wanted Chris Farley for Buddy, which I could see.
I could see that too. That's sad.
And Jim Carrey was also considered for it.
Okay.
Gary Shandling was the first choice to play Walter, but he turned it down.
I don't know who that is. I'm sorry.
You would recognize him if you looked him up.
Okay.
The Gimbals was originally Macy's in the script. And they agreed to it, but they said that the Santa couldn't be revealed as fake.
Oh, because they do the parade and have Santa.
The parade and Miracle on 34th Street. That whole thing. But Jon Favreau didn't want to change the script at all, so he changed it to Gimbals, and Gimbals went out of business in 1987.
Sometimes that's the way it's got to be.
Right? The original story was closer to Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, where everyone at the North Pole treated Buddy like they treated Rudolph.
Oh, no.
But
the way I would have cried.
That would have made Buddy trusting everyone a hard sell, so it was changed, where they were all very, very respectful and trusting of him.
I like that. I like that they were nice to him, too, because then the whole thing where he finds out that he's not really an elf because people were gossiping is even more heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Because it's the whole idea of you think these people like you and they're talking about you behind your back, which is even more sad.
Yeah, exactly. And Wanda Sykes was supposed to be the Gimbals manager, which is why the name tag that the Gimbals manager has on says Wanda.
That reads. I can hear her doing that role.
Yeah. And that's the trivia I have for you. So would this movie be better, worse, or the same with Jonathan Taylor Thomas as who?
Hear me out. Still an adult, but playing Michael.
Okay, sure.
Your silence is deafening. I think it would be better. Because it's an adult.
I think it would be worse. You need the child innocence and trusting.
I suppose.
But with Jimmy Stewart as Papa Elf.
Ooh.
Honestly, worse. I think Bob Newhart's really good. I think he's the perfect
really
kind of actor to be playing that role.
He feels very safe and trusting, and he does seem like the kind of guy who would take in a human, a different child. You know what I mean? He seems like the kind that would raise that child and take good care.
The child may not be the roof, but he will raise him.
Thank you, Will Smith.
So on a scale of 1 to 5 world's greatest cup of coffees, what do you give it?
5.
That's not surprising at all.
Can't I just enjoy myself?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, Dan.
I'm happy you enjoy it as much as you do.
I do, very much. How about you? If you say some foolishness...
No, I'm giving it a 4.
Oh, thank God.
I
thought you were going to say 2.5 or something.
That's why earlier when you said that 85% is too low, that's basically what I would give it. A 3 out of 4 or 4 out of 5.
B.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. I'll just go cry in my bed.
I'm sorry that my opinion of this 19-year-old Christmas movie is not high enough for you that you need to cry yourself to sleep.
I need to cry about a lot of things today,
Yeah.
specifically my toe.
Yeah, maybe the Christmas movie thing might be like second on the list below the toe.
No, it's pretty high up for me, actually. So.
Well, that's good to know.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing else. That's all I have for Elf. Do you have anything?
No, I already shared my fun story about my grandma. My mom really likes Elf too. We like Elf in my family. I did date a guy once who used to, at Christmas time, quote a different line from Elf every single day until Christmas, starting December 1st.
Wow.
Don't be like that. Just don't be like that. That's so cringe.
Honestly, that's kind of impressive, though.
It was, but it was also very cringe. And if he's listening, I hope he hears me. It was cringe.
I'm sure he listens.
You never know.
I never know. So that is it for this week's episode of In Conclusion. Thank you all for listening. If you like it, you can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/inconclusion. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at @InConclusion, on Instagram at InConclusionPodcast, and you can find me on Twitter at DanO'Keefe86 and on TikTok at NotDanO'Keefe. Anna, where can they find you?
You can find me on Instagram at OptimusPrime818, or you can find me on Twitter at AutobotsRollOut, capital O for Auto, capital B for Bots, capital R for Roll, and the O in Roll, and the O in Out are zeros. Or you can follow my very sweet baby puppy dog on Instagram at JesterThePup1017. No capitals, no spaces. Just puppy
What
dog.
a shift. What a shift from how you described her last week.
She's being really good right now. She's just sitting on her bed chewing on a bone. Last week she was making me mad.
So there will be no new episode next week. We're taking it off for Christmas/New Year's. So Merry Christmas, everyone. Happy New Year. Thank you all for listening over the past nearly 3 years.
Oh, Dan, we're old.
I know. We're aging rapidly. There's no slowing down.
No, thank you.
But seriously, thank you to everybody for listening. It's fun to do these, and we like doing them, and we want to keep doing them. So
yeah,
thanks for your support, and we will see you when we're back talking exclusively about movies that Anna hates in 2023.
I can't wait, Dan.
Just Taxi Driver every week.
You saw Meet the Fockers and Meet the Parents. You understand why I didn't like Taxi Driver now. That's the Robert De Niro I know.
I did find out that there was a podcast called The Irish Min, where once a day they review 1 minute of The Irishman.
I love that.
So
that's going to take them a long time.
We're going to shift to that, but Taxi Driver.
Dear God.
Anyway, in the meantime, everybody stay safe, have fun, and get vaccinated. Bye-bye.
Bye. I'll be damned.
A Creative Land podcast.